The idyllic islands of the Maldives, known for their pristine beaches and luxurious resorts, find themselves at the heart of a geopolitical storm. Recent reports in the US media have sent shockwaves through the region, alleging a plot by Indian intelligence to overthrow the current Maldivian president, Ibrahim Mohamed Solih. The allegations, vehemently denied by India, paint a picture of covert operations and backroom deals, raising serious questions about India's role in the region. The Washington Post, citing unnamed sources, claims that Indian agents engaged in secret talks with Maldivian opposition figures, the goal to orchestrate the removal of President Solih, who's seen as tilting towards China. These accusations are not to be taken lightly. They strike at the heart of India's image as a responsible regional power, one that champions democracy and stability. The alleged plot, if true, exposes the high-stakes game being played out in the Indian Ocean. The Maldives, strategically located amidst crucial shipping lanes, has become a prize in the geopolitical rivalry between India and China. India, wary of China's growing influence, is keen to maintain its sway over its island neighbor. The accusations have sparked outrage in New Delhi, with the Indian government denouncing the reports as baseless and malicious. Indian officials have questioned the credibility of the sources and accused the US media of pursuing an anti-India agenda. The stage is set for a diplomatic row, one that could have far-reaching consequences. The political drama unfolding in the Maldives is further complicated by the country's dire economic straits. The island nation is grappling with a crippling debt crisis exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing war in Ukraine. The Maldives, heavily reliant on tourism, saw its economy contract sharply as global travel came to a standstill. The economic downturn has left the Maldives vulnerable and desperate for financial assistance. India, a traditional benefactor, has stepped in with loans and currency swaps to help its neighbor weather the storm. However, this aid comes with strings attached, further fueling accusations of Indian interference in Maldivian affairs. Critics argue that India is using the Maldives' economic woes to exert undue influence and advance its own strategic interests. They point to the presence of Indian troops on Maldivian soil, ostensibly for training purposes, as evidence of India's growing military footprint in the region. This situation has created resentment among some Maldivians, who accuse India of treating their country like a protectorate. The economic crisis has also emboldened the political opposition in the Maldives, who accuse the Solih government of mismanagement and corruption. They have called for closer ties with China, which they see as a more reliable economic partner. China, for its part, has been quick to capitalize on the situation, offering loans and investments in infrastructure projects. The unfolding events in the Maldives highlight the country's precarious position in the wider geopolitical chessboard. Situated at the crossroads of vital sea lanes connecting the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, the Maldives holds immense strategic value. Control over these sea lanes is crucial for securing energy supplies and projecting military power. India, with its long coastline and dependence on maritime trade, views the Indian Ocean as its backyard and is determined to maintain its dominance. The rise of China, however, poses a direct challenge to India's regional hegemony. China's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to build infrastructure and boost trade across Asia, Africa, and Europe, has alarmed India, which sees it as a blatant attempt to encircle it. The Maldives, with its strategic location and growing economic ties with China, has become a focal point in this rivalry. India fears that China could establish a military base in the Maldives, giving it a strategic foothold in the Indian Ocean. These fears were exacerbated in 2014 when a Chinese submarine docked at a Maldivian port, raising alarm bells in New Delhi. India's alleged attempts to influence Maldivian politics must be viewed in this context. India is determined to prevent the Maldives from slipping into China's orbit and is willing to use all means at its disposal to achieve this goal. The US media reports, whether true or not, have exposed the high-stakes game being played out in the Indian Ocean, one with potentially dangerous consequences. The allegations of Indian meddling in the Maldives have been met with a chorus of denials from New Delhi. Indian officials have dismissed the reports as fake news and accused the US media of being a mouthpiece for hostile forces. They have pointed to India's long-standing tradition of supporting democracy in the Maldives, citing its role in restoring democracy after the 2012 coup. India has also defended its economic assistance to the Maldives, arguing that it is driven by a desire to help a close neighbor in need. Indian officials have stressed that all assistance is provided with the consent of the Maldivian government and is subject to the country's laws and regulations. They have accused China of engaging in predatory lending practices, saddling developing countries with unsustainable debt. The Maldivian government, caught in the crosshairs of this geopolitical tug-of-war, has been cautious in its response. President Solih, while acknowledging the challenges posed by the country's economic situation, has maintained that the Maldives is committed to pursuing an independent foreign policy. He has stressed the importance of maintaining good relations with both India and China, emphasizing that the Maldives will not become a pawn in their rivalry. The truth behind the allegations of Indian interference in the Maldives may never be fully known. However, the episode has exposed the complex web of geopolitical interests at play in the Indian Ocean. The Maldives, caught in the middle of this power struggle, faces a delicate balancing act as it seeks to safeguard its sovereignty and navigate its way through this turbulent geopolitical landscape.